On today's episode of PJ and the Beard, we're looking at the Recto Distortion from NUX. It's a part of their Reissue Series, another nod to a very popular, dare I say, maybe even famous amplifier.
Right. So, I wonder what it is.
Again, sometimes the knobs are a little giveaway-ish.
So, when we play on Sundays, you always play through a Mesa Boogie.
I do. That's a true story. I do.
So, he plays through Mesa Boogie. So, this pedal might speak to you in some ways.
It does.
Okay. Where we landed. Where you landed.
Right.
So, this would be where Pat landed in... Oh, man, I can't even see. So, 11 on the bass?
Yep.
About...
3
on the treble. So push the treble a little bit. Had the gain about noon.
Which is surprising to those of you who know me.
Right, because I would have thought it'd be a little bit higher.
Right.
And then the master's about a little bit under noon, too. So... I think we get right into it. And one of the questions that we've been asking is, where would you land?
Right.
And so this is where you landed.
Yeah, I landed that way for single note stuff. So I was thinking that when we come into this part, I'm just going to play chords, like what it would sound like if I were playing rhythm with that. And I'll probably go bright in the bridge.
Before you do that, do you want to...
Yeah, sure.
I remember this song.
He did. Early 2000s, Les Paul classic, Sir Thornbucker's Tyler JT 22. Maybe I'll go middle.
With the pedal
engaged.
Big.
It's big, and I tried to make it somewhat manageable. I mean, again, in the context of a band, I don't know, but I'm trying, since we've started doing this show, trying to get maybe a more mix-friendly sound. That's why the gain was there instead of,
I'm going to turn it all the way
up. We're eventually going to do that. That is true.
All right, so let's get into features. We already said it, right? Bass, treble, gain, master. Let's do this. We'll let you play that, and with the pedal engaged, we'll roll the bass back and forth, roll the treble back and forth, and then pause and see where we want to go from there.
All right. interesting. As you rolled up both the bass and the treble, it had the big full sound, almost like a 412. It's almost like you changed cabinets, right? Because you got the buzziness of the fuzziness of the overdrive, but then that top end. It was interesting. It almost like sounded like you put a wall of cabinets over there.
Yeah. It wasn't. There was. When I rolled the bass all the way off at first, I was like, "Oh no, here we go!"
Right,
because the treble was going to get. But I didn't feel like it was. I felt like it was all usable, I guess.
Yeah.
But I mean, you could tell when I rolled the bass down. You could tell when I rolled the bass up. You could tell when I rolled the treble down. You could tell when I rolled the treble up. I left them both back around 12 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Do you? How do we want to do? Let's take you have the master. We're going to put master at 12. Let's roll the gain all the way off and just roll that the whole way around with it at 12 and see what happens.
All right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'm just trying to think if I want to play like hook something or other chords.
I'm not sure. If we would have went higher on this, it would have started with the master at all the way out.
Right.
If we went higher on the gain, it would have. You could hear it start to kind of.
That's why I was like, "Is the amp choking out over there?"
Yeah, it started to flub out a little bit, but it was definitely usable gain at low end, but not like. Because I'm trying to think how to say this. You could use a boogie. A boogie doesn't have to be a metal machine.
No, it doesn't. This was known, the one it's modeled after, a little bit more for high gain than some of the ones I've played. But yeah, it doesn't have to be.
Right. So you can pull that back and still get like a... Even when we had the master push and the gain low, I was thinking there could be some tones in there that would sound real nice rolling the volume back probably and clean up a little bit. Yeah.
I like this because I like master volume amps, right? So even at bedroom volumes, you could tweak this gain really far, get that big crunch, write some hooks, like jam out, maybe do some lead lines, and keep that master low, and get the big fullness sound and not kill the neighbors, right?
So you're saying like we could pull this gain way up, turn this down a little bit.
Yeah, you kind of had it there at one point. It's like... I don't know what it sounded like on the recording. It's a little loud in the room, but you could get a really big sound and just take that master back. And
cool.
Anyway, yeah.
So the big question is going to be, where do I end up?
Right. Inquiring minds want to know.
This is so out of my wheelhouse, right? Because he likes master volume amps.
Right.
I literally don't look at an amp if it has a master volume.
Right.
Like, give me a Fender Clean amp, one volume. I'd love someday to have like a volume tone reverb, and that it really does because it seems like everybody's going master volume amps now.
Yeah,
and I get it. I know why they're doing it, but it's like that one more knob I don't need.
Right.
Like to try and. For me, it's hard to figure. It's not because it's not good. It's because I'm not good. Right? Like I'm just not good at dialing that in. Right. I had a Mesa Recto-verb. The 112 Recto-verb.
Right.
For a while. I gigged with that for a while. And ended up with a hot rod Fender because, volume knob. I was like, where do
I wish you would have held on to that.
So,
but we got a pedal instead.
So yeah, I guess I'll tell you what.
He's talking because he's putting off having to figure out what he's going to do with this pedal.
That pedal's a lot lighter than that Recto-verb was.
That's true. You can carry that up a flight of stairs, no problem.
Beast. I actually traded that. Storytime. We should have like a little. Yeah. We should have a little JHS thing, right? A little stinger.
And I'll just be like, oh.
Storytime. I traded my Recto-verb.
Yeah.
For a Fender Vibrolux, 210 Vibrolux, one of the reissue ones, in probably late 90s, early 2000s. Didn't like that amp at all. Traded that amp and a little bit of cash for the 335 that's hanging back on the wall. So, in the end...
You made out okay.
I made out all right. All right, so that's right. Thanks. We'll take this is the moment we take to just thank everybody that's watching, hitting the subscribe button, clicking on notifications, clicking like, going down, leaving comments below, Instagram, Facebook, all that wonderful stuff. Anytime you interact with the channel in any way, it really helps us out. It helps us continue to bring cool gear like this. Shout out to NUX for sending this gear out so we could bring it to you and show it to you. We really appreciate that of you and of them. And I think with that, if that made any sense at all.
Hopefully this makes sense. I'm PJ on behalf of the Beard, reminding you no matter what you hear, you never have too much gear.
Utter ridiculous. But a lot of fun.